I was born a typical identical twin with normal abilities. And when I was 15, learned that I don't absorb vitamin C. And it's given me a lot of challenges in my life, including having to have had 85 surgeries on various body parts, because when you don't have vitamin C, everything breaks down. I also am a teacher of 22 years of children with special needs. Autism was my specialty. And going through my life and my daily challenges, it's not easy. There are varying abilities and disabilities. There are disabilities that you can't see. I have crutches and a cast on my arm, which you can see, but I also have medical conditions that you can't see. So it's important to bring to light what brands and airports and daily activity living can help people like me who have challenges. An ideal experience would be being able to travel through TSA like any normal, typical person. I immediately get sidebarred, and I do understand the TSA has to do their safety precaution and measures. But I travel with a lot of intravenous medicine that's packaged appropriately as per TSA, and still it's taken out. It's not supposed to be exposed to light, and they're holding it up to the light. And, you know, the strip searches, things like that. I understand that, you know, I'm just a regular traveler when they need to be sure that everybody's safe. But it would be nice if the staff was more empathetic towards me. They're very rough. They're very coarse. They're not nice. There's no eye contact. They're touching places on my body that they shouldn't touch. There's no humanity. There's no personalization. I just feel like I feel embarrassed, but I feel like I'm stigmatized. People are watching, and, you know, it doesn't have to be that way. If you just have communication, like somebody mentioned, a smile, eye contact, just so that I feel like I'm a human who has a lot of challenges and disabilities walking through an airport. I feel it just doesn't need to be so stressful.
The word communication is mentioned a few times, and I want to say it again. Because through communication, you drive awareness. And just even through this conversation, I'm going to an airport, I'm getting on a plane, I'm going to be looking differently. I'm going to be watching, I'm going to be paying attention. And the thing is, I believe that most of the world is good, but we are so busy, and it's not because we don't care. Some don't, but many do care, but we're so busy and we're in our own head. So the more we have this conversation, the more that people are going to see better, and the more that they're going to do something or say something and be helpful. So I think that this is key for all these topics: diversity, inclusion, helping those that are in need, customer experience. All of this is the awareness, because I promise you, I'm going to go to the airport. I'm probably going to be on some Starbucks line. I'm going to see somebody who needs help better today, and then keep that momentum going.
How can organizations start to become conscious of this problem and start to identify some of these customer groups where they're really putting in place poor experiences because they're not considering people like Stacy? So Stacy Sherman, I want to come to you on this. How can we start to identify where these barriers exist?
Yeah. So the answer is very simple. One is, as many companies are doing persona development and journey mapping, make sure that you include the different segments of abilities. Make sure they're part of that. And there's an experience designed not just for your typical average, consumer. So you got to be intentional for that development and that journey mapping. Secondly, as Stacy Hirschberg said, ask people like her, we always talk about in the CX field, voice of customer, voice of employee, voice of agent. Well, that has to include people of different abilities. So it's just expanding what we already do in the CX field, but it is that intentional effort to make sure that this segment is cared for.